uh, merge with the methods and functions. Okay, now what do you mean by OOPS, or what is an expansion of an OOPS?
Object oriented programming language.
Object oriented
Orient
programming
programming language.
Is Java is a object oriented programming language? Okay, yes, no.
Yes.
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 Okay, whether Java is a high level language or low level language?
High level
High
language.
level.
Okay, what do you meant by high level language, Karan?
Platform independent.
Oh, platform independent languages are called high level languages. Any other answers? What do you meant by high level language?
System will understand the different languages.
I'm not able to hear out, Lilila. Can you repeat it again?
The system will understand different languages and compared to the other programming languages like C++ or C.
Mhm.
It is very secureable.
Team, understand my question. What do you meant by high level language?
High level.
See, you said that Java is a high level language, right? Now, what do you meant by high level language? I asked. See, in programming languages,
Programming language
okay.
to simplify computer program.
Is it called an high level language?
Code running.
So code running languages are called high level languages. I think here we have been missed out some basics. See, always remember that. So why it was related to all the things, I'll let you know. See, we do have two type of languages. One is high level language versus low level language. Java will falls under high level language. Then what do you mean by low language? First of all, you tell me what is this high level language, but then we'll understand whether Java or any other thing. High level language is nothing but which it can be communicated or interacted with a human, or whether human can understand that particular thing, then those things are called as high level languages. In Java, you write your code like system.out.println, so that I can clearly understand this normal English saying that, hey, this is trying to print a particular statement. So human readable code, whatever the language which you will be writing is, so then that is called high level languages. So you take C#, Python, C, any languages. So those are called as high level languages. Low level language. What do you mean by low level language? So low level languages are converted in, means divided into two classes. One is assembly language, and next one is machine language. What do you mean by machine language? What do you mean?
Information.
This is
Process of
called
zeros.
bytecode,
Bytecode.
or this is called 1 zeros 1 zeros 1 zeros. Now what is this 1 zeros?
Binary.
Binary.
Binary means what? Why should we have ones and zeros?
Because
To
the machine is
understand the
understanding that.
Machine is understandable.
Machine can understand.
You have the power buttons in your laptops, mobile phones, wherever the electronic devices. You will see this symbol. What is the symbol?
Power on off symbol.
Power switch off.
Power and on off. So now for this power and off, what is the symbol represent for?
This.
So this symbol represents 1 and 0. So now when we do have, okay, what do you meant by computer, or what do you meant by PC? Oh, okay. So now what do you meant by computer means? Computer or PC is an electronic device, right? The electronic device which it can be used for computation. So this is the dictionary definition of a computer, right? Now, when you use zeros and ones, the system can understand this particular zeros and ones only, not this particular English language. See, it is simply, so when I'm talking to you Spanish, will you understand? Obviously
No.
not. So now if I'm talking in English, which is a common language across us, so that we can understand that one. So the same way, when you wanted to talk to a machine, so the machine can understand, or the main thing is the processor. The processor should understand what we are trying to communicate for the processor. So the processor will understand this particular byte code. So previously, for an example, now any character in your system. Now, for an example, I have an ampersand, I have a star, I have a hash symbol, or any particular character. Every character will have a particular respective binary code for this. So for an example, now 001, 001, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now this is what the binary digit for this. Now this is 8-bit. Now once at one shot, the processor understanding this one, then it is called 8-bit processor. But now what is our processor speed? At 1 second, means at one shot, how many bits it can understand? 64-bit processor. So now all your laptops will be having 32-bit or 64-bit.
64, yes, yes.
Now, what do you meant by 32-bit or 64-bit means? Now, this particular bits at one shot, the processor can understand. Now, we do have the supercomputers which it can understand 512 bits and all, but as of now, our normal home PCs and all the things, it would be understand by 64-bit processors. So now, what do you mean? What holistically, what you wanted to understand over here is now a particular the byte once we have a particular byte code for anything, so it can be understandable by the processor, and the processor will perform this. Now, so first we need to convert this particular program into this particular byte code. So now how it would be converted is, hope we have been discussed. So now I do have .a Java file. This is my source code. So how this can be converted into the byte code? How it would be converted into the byte code?
Compiler, by using compiler.
By the using the
Using
compiler,
compiler.
yes.
Java compiler, which is Java C. So when you see the Java C, so .a file converted into Java file converted into
Java file.
Dot class.
Dot class file.
dot
Class
class file.
file.
So now dot class file will be converted, means now this will have the byte code, and this particular byte code will be will be given it as an input for
JVM.
JVM.
so JVM. So JVM will convert into
Binary.
Machine code.
this big
Assembly language.
assembly language or low level language or native machine language will be converted. Hey, I understand. See, now you need to understand this byte code is nothing but the machine code. Now, why we are giving to the JVM, or what is the purpose of the JVM? So JVM is an interpreter, which it will be converting this particular byte code into the assembly language. What do you mean by assembly language? Assembly language is nothing but it have a short commands like move or up or down. So like this, we will have the command and then the instruction value, the input values. So this is what the assembly language, and this assembly language would be understood by the system. So now this ones and zeros also converted into the assembly languages means, so the first we will get the machine language. From the machine language, it will be converted into the assembly language. So the high level languages are nothing but which is a human readable code or human readable languages, which you can write all your instructions. And these instructions can be converted into the byte codes or machine codes, and then machine codes, and then this passed into the interpreter, which is a JVM. So JVM will convert into the assembly language. So this is how this is called platform independent. What do you mean by platform independent? Write Aura, write once and run anywhere. This is concept is called Aura, means I'll be writing in Windows and I can execute my program in the Mac machine, or I can execute in Ubuntu. Why? Because now this interpreter would be there, right? So this interpreter will convert into the low level language, which is an assembly language. So this particular assembly language will be executed in any operating systems. So either in the Mac, either in the Windows, either in the Ubuntu, anywhere else if he wanted to execute, it will go and then it will execute there. So that's how, so the Java is called as platform independent. What do you mean by platform? First of all, we
Different
are saying that
OS.
OS.
Yes.
always remember that OS plus processor equal to platform. Not only OS is called as platform. So now for an example, OS is Windows plus platform means the processor is Intel. So we will call as Wintel. So these both things are called as a platform. Not only the operating system is called as a platform. That's a misconception. So the people should also means not only the operating system, it also depends upon the processor to define a platform. So now that's where it is called as platform independent. Either it can be micro means Windows or Ubuntu or Mac OS. So this is where the platform independent. Java is a platform independent. So Java is a high level language, and C#, Python, everything is also a high level language. Now, high level languages would be supported for OOPS concept. See, now I just wanted to let you know what you meant by high level language. So high level languages will be supported by OOPS concept. For saying this one, I need to ask you all these questions, and then I'm trying to explain you for this. Now, when it comes to the OOPS, the name itself, it was saying that object oriented programming structure. Okay, so why it is called as an object oriented programming structure? So something is there. So first of all, let me go with the each and every topic. First one, object. What do you mean by object? What do you mean by an object? For your instances, what do you think about an object?
Is there anything? Thing,
Thing means what? What do you mean by think?
Which can be used to perform something. A pen is used to write, it's an object.
What is an object? Writing thing is an object, pen is an object.
pen is an object. We consider as a pen as an object.
Pen.
Which can be seen and touched.
Excellent. See, well defined. Object is nothing but any real-time entity which you can see, which you can touch, which you can feel. So that is called an object. Object is a real-time entity. In front of me, I have multiple objects. For an example, I have a coffee cup, I have water bottles, and I do have computer specs in front of me. I do have a calculator. I do have wet wipes. I do have a writing slate, and I do have 3 laptops in front of me, and I do have a monitor in front of me. Everything which I can touch, I can feel. So those things are real-time entities, which are called as an object. Simple definition. You can define with your own words. So the real-time world where I can see something which I can touch and feel, and real-time entities are called as an objects. And you know, every object have certain behavior. So the object can have some properties and some behaviors. Property and behavior. Let me define me something. For an example, I'll take a film actor, so that would be easy for us to understand. I think properly I given the same examples multiple times because I learned in that way. That's where I wanted to give you the same thing. Now we do have a film actor, Surya. He acts well, he dances well, and he performs well. And you can define him. Okay, he is 5'10" inches height, and he is fair, and he is a stout and well muzzled or toned. Now, can you tell me which are his properties and which are his behaviors?
His features, like he's fair, his height, those are the
Properties.
Those are
characteristics
the
and the
characteristics or
characteristics,
the
yeah.
properties. And
Property.
behaviors?
Acting, the performance.
Acting and
Acting,
performance,
yeah.
the dancing.
Performance, dancing.
Those are the
That's it. That's it. So you need to understand holistically. For a particular man or human being or particular man, So if you're telling about his properties or characteristics, both are same. Okay, or these are called as attributes. Okay, now when I seen this particular properties or attributes, which is saying that what his height and what's his shout. For an example, Prabhas, he was 6.5 feet height, and then he was well built. So now I'm trying to define or explain about the characteristics of him. So how he looks, the characteristics I'm explaining. Now his behavior means if he performs some action, if he is performing some action, okay, understand very clearly. When he performs some action, that is called the behavior, right? Now, what is his behavior? So how he act, how he dance, and how he fight, and how he perform. So if he is making some actions, then that is defined as your behavior, right? Now, these are called the behaviors. These are called attributes. Now, let me take some examples, and then I'll ask you to give me. In front of me, I'm seeing this particular mobile phone. Okay, so I wanted to define this mobile phone behavior and the characteristics or the attributes. The attributes for this one is this is 6.4 inches screen, and then this is a dual screen, and this have 128 GB, and then it have 6 GB RAM. So I'm giving the properties of this particular mobile and the behavior of this mobile. I can see the YouTube videos. I can see, I can listen the music, and I can process all my bank payments, and I can process all my investment bankings. All. So now if you see here, what are the actions of this one? I explained it. Okay. Similarly, each one of you pick quickly one object in front of you, whatever you're seeing it. For that one, you tell me the attributes and you tell me the proper means the behavior of that one. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so Manjunath, can you tell me what the object you wanted to take it up? So tell me about that particular object properties and the behavior.
So I like to take monitor.
Okay, go ahead.
So this monitor is 24 inches height, and so its color is silver.
Okay.
So these are the properties, and when it comes to behavior, I can connect it to the laptop, or I can connect it to the CPU, and I can perform the actions. I mean, I can see all the basically it's like I can see whatever I can whatever I connect it to, right? I can see.
So now you see, as a monitor, the monitor size is 24 inches, and it's in I think I'm getting echo, Manjunath, so please be on mute. So this is a silver color, and then it is from Samsung or some brand, and then you get these are the properties. And when it comes to the behavior, I can see that particular screen, so I can connect to any laptop and then view in the bigger sizes, and the vision of that particular laptop activities I'll be seeing. That's the behavior of that one. Yes, good. Go next one. Palomita, you wanted to go ahead.
Yeah, can I take my phone?
Anything is fine.
Okay, so my phone is of a black color. That is, I'm talking about the properties. It's of black color. It's a Redmi 5 set, and it does not have any notch on the screen. And about the performance, I mean, it hangs a lot and it does not work properly. I can touch the screen, but the touch is not usable all the time.
Behavior of the phone?
Behavior of the phone is what it is doing after I'm touching it, the responses it is giving.
The behavior, what exactly the phone performs. Means what is the use of that particular phone?
I use it to get calls, and I use it to search something on Google, or used to attend classes here.
Not really the phone used to for attending the classes, but yeah, calling, messaging, searching, listening music, viewing something, all those things would be part of the mobile. Perfect. Next, Kuldeep, you wanted to go ahead. Kuldeep, you there?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the same example I just take for a laptop.
Man, you can take any other lab. Yeah. So you can take any object you can see in front of you. I can take water bottle. I can take sweats. Anything you can take it. Yep.
Yeah. For purpose, I take a wireless mouse. So it has got a property based on this Bluetooth. It works on Bluetooth, and of course the main power source is battery.
Mhm. You
Yeah.
can define about the color, size. These things are the properties of that object, right?
The properties, yes. The color in the sense it comes with a two-layered black and blue color
Mhm.
with a roller
Mhm.
support, and of course
And what the behavior of that particular mouse?
behavior in the sense it has to be connected to some a laptop or some PC. Without this Bluetooth, it can't function. We can't understand how it functions.
See,
Right.
you need to tell me what is what is the purpose of that particular means what exactly the
Purpose
behavior of a
to,
mouse. Yep.
yeah, virtually we can render on the screen. See this cursor on the screen. We can do some manipulations when it's connected to the laptop or PC.
Cool. So now this is a mouse pointer. So I can point something and I can click on that, right click on that, left click on that, scroll on that. So these are the behaviors of your mouse, right? Any mouse for the same. So that is what we need to say. See now anything. See, I'm seeing a water bottle in front of me. So the bottle is in completely a transparent. It was having a bottle cork, which is a brown color, and then complete 1 liter bottle. So now what is the purpose of this one or the behavior? I can store the hot water and I can store the cold water and I can use it for drinking water. So this is a behavior. So similarly, you take any particular object. So that particular object will have the attributes and it will have the particular behavior. For an example, now once again I'm saying that now I'll take the example, the calculator which I was seeing beside me. So the calculator is there. So I define my properties here or attributes, and now I will define my behavior of this one. Okay, so Leela, can you tell me what are the properties of a calculator? Just calculator, what we do have in
It's 6 to 7 inches.
is 6 to 7 inches.
It has some buttons.
The black color
color
and then it have
buttons
around
around
18
18.
buttons.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have behavior.
Yeah, it can calculate the some arithmetic and any operations.
Okay, so then it will be used for the calculations, arithmetic calculations.
And any kind, yeah.
Scientific, scientific aspect.
Okay, now we'll write it. So now if you see here, you take the point of here, any object will be having the properties and then attributes. So behavior is nothing but if we perform some action, then that is called the behavior. I told this definition also. Now, how it related to today's topic is these are called as methods and these are called as variables. So holistically, what you need to understand is objects will have a variables and object will have methods. Methods are, there is a slight difference, but as of now, you just learn in this way. I'll let you know later. Functions. So now we need to know how you need to define a function or what is a function or what is a method and how these particular properties and variables has been defined. So when it comes to the variables and methods, here it can be classified into two structures. One is static and non-static. If you don't understand this particular topic, the static and non-static, you will not understand OOPS at all. This is really very important. See, day to day, I do 4 to 5 interviews. When I ask them, they will be not able to tell me what is the basic difference between a static and non-static. And they will say that they have 6 years, 7 years of experience only in Java. And they will rate themselves as out of 10, they will rate them as 9. And they claim that they are experts and they created the frameworks. If you don't tell me what do you meant by static and non-static, can I imagine these all facts? Not at all. So this is like an alphabets. So you're saying that I don't know ABC, but I have written novels, which is not at all possible. So be cautious when we are discussing about what do you meant by static variables or static methods, or what do you meant by non-static variables or non-static methods. So these are the things which we wanted to discuss. But when it comes to, so now you need to understand how we have been derived. So behaviors are called as methods. Methods are nothing but if you perform some action with an object is called a method. That is what we defined here, right? So now by an object, so now this is an object. With this particular object, if I'm behaving or if I'm performing something, some action, then that is called a method. See, now when it is in the OOPS concept, then this is called as methods. When it's in the procedural language, then it is called as a function. Function is nothing but it's a group of steps or instructions to perform a particular task. A group of steps, right? See, for an example, now I wanted to login functionality. Now, what I need to do? So now I written a login method. Enter username, enter password, click on login button, and verify whether you reach the home page, right? So now this is when you perform this particular set of instructions, then what it will happen? Login will be completed, right? Now this is called login function. So in your procedural language, this will be called as function. Procedural means high level language is classified into two. One is OOPS concept languages and the procedural languages. I'll not get into this one, so it will take a lot of time to explain this, but OOPS and then procedural. So especially the OOPS is nothing but when a particular language revolves around the object, then that is called OOPS. Why we need to do with the OOPS, or what is the advantage of the OOPS is it is more secure, more reusable, more understandable, and easy to implement. So there are a lot of advantages with the OOPS. So now when it comes to this particular, so now did you understand how it comes for methods and how it comes for functions, and what is an object and the behavior performing means if an object performs some action which is called an method, and method would be used in terms of OOPS. Functions would be used in a procedures. What would be the method or function definition is a group of instructions which it wanted to perform certain tasks is called a function. So which I given the example, the login function. And this login function I can call anywhere, wherever I require. So this is called means a reusability, which I can use this one. Did you understood this? Any questions? And then we want to talk about static and non-static. I'll pack this one. So first I wanted to discuss about what are the different type of methods are there or functions are there. First I'll discuss about that. Later on I'll tag up with this particular static, non-static. Okay. So now when it comes to this particular functions have basically three categories. One is normal function. Next one is parameterized function. Next one is written function. And next, these are the basic three. But another concept which it involves from the OOPS concept, which is overloaded. It comes as part of polymorphism. Okay, which is called overloaded method or overloaded function. Okay, we'll call this one as this. We are using the oops. We should use it oops language only. We shouldn't take this and that. So now we can talk this one as overloaded method. So now, first of all, we should know what is normal, what is parameterized, and what is written. So these are the three types of functions or methods which we need to discuss about it. So once we understand these three, understanding this one would be not a big deal. Overloaded method. Okay, so now today what we wanted to cover as part of our discussion is, so we wanted to know what is this particular function or method. Now how we have been derived this one is, so first we have been taken an object, and from the object we have been defined the properties, behaviors, and there we have the method, and from there we have been connected back to this particular topic. Are we clear with till here? Any questions for me?
Yeah, you
Like,
said that
yeah,
for oops it's methods and
Yes.
function is for the other part. I know.
Yes.
So why are we calling it as functions? We should call it as methods, no?
See, as part of oops cons, when we are talking as part of under the part of oops, then this is called as methods.
Okay.
But as part of the programming language, okay, then this would be called as a function. But the action of the both the things are same, whether it comes to the method or function, the usability is same.
Okay.
So now here you can say that normal method, no parameterized method, and written methods also. You can talk in that way also. There is no harm. So I'm just saying that, see, that's the reason I given it function / method here. You can call it with any name, but the end result would be the same. But where all we call this one as method means it's called as part of oops, then it would be called as method. Means the terminology is most important, right? Where to use what. So based upon that particular terminology, I'm trying to explain you on this. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Any other questions?
No,
Okay.
I think.
So how to create a project? I'll just quickly do that one and then go ahead. So now a new. So in the new, I'll try to create a new Java project. So here I'll name this one as dummy underscore mummy. So the project name should start with
capital letter.
Capital.
Always it should start with the capital letters. Okay. So now I created a project. See, if soon as I created the project, I got this particular JRE. What is this JRE?
Java runtime
Runtime.
What is Java runtime environment?
It's used to run the program.
to execute.
To run the
Execute
Java
the program.
What is the difference between JVM and JRE?
JVM is converts a .class file to low level language.
Okay, then
And JRE executes it. The programming were written, JRE executes it.
how JRE can execute these programs? So you guys must see now. I know that Chendu has installed this one. I'm there on that class. See guys, it is very simple, right? Now JVM will convert all these things into ones and zeros. Sorry, the assembly language, because the JVM input is the machine language, which is ones and zeros from the .class file. Now, once it comes to the JVM convert into the assembly language. So now it made the things to get run. But where it should run? It should need to run on something, right? So that is what JRE.
Yes.
So when it comes to the JRE consists of JVM plus some libraries. Libraries are nothing but this. With what help it will be executing it? With the help of this libraries, it will be executing it. Boss, you can see the RT library, JC library, JCA library, Sonic library. So with this help of these particular libraries, it will help to run that. So this is called JRE. Now, what do you meant by JDK? So JRE plus the development activities is called JDK. So what are the development activities? You can write the program, debug the program, compile the sources, generate the sources, execute the program, debug the program, generate the result. These all things are part of development activities, right? So this is called JDK. So that's the reason when you install JDK, by default JRE would be installed. When JRE installed, by default JV will be installed in it. So with all these particular libraries. So now here, what we are trying to do now, we wanted to develop anything or execute anything. So first, that's the reason JRE library would be available over here. So this is what the system library, it will point to your C drive. In the program files, you'll be having it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now here, once this is my source, and then here I'll be creating it package. What do you mean by package?
It is a collection of classes.
Collection of, what do you mean by jar?
Java archive file.
You're explaining me the expand. See, jar means Java archive. What do you mean by jar?
Okay. No idea, Chris.
Group of packages.
Group of packages. See, now for an example, I came and then I have been given you with one chocolate. So you'll take the chocolate and then you'll eat away and you'll go. I've given you 100 chocolates. Can I carry 100 chocolates with my bare hand and then give it to you?
No.
Rather than that, I can keep in a box all these 100 chocolates and then I can give it to you so that you can take happily that box and then go away. So jar is nothing but it consists of multiple packages and multiple classes. Now, what do you mean by a package? See, for an example, package means I wanted to go for a devotional trip. So I wanted to go for Kashi, or I wanted to go for Haridwar, Rishikesh, and then all my flights and all my rooms and all my cabs, everything will be booked. This is one package. I want to go for a bachelor party for Goa. So now this package is entirely different. So now based upon my wish, so either I wanted to go for a traditional trip or a bachelor trip. So all my hotels, all my cabs, and all my flights, and everything would be having one package. So devotional trip, bachelor trip. So now if you see here, this is how it was classified and then I have been kept. So now if I go, all my things will be there in this package and all the things will be there in the package. Similarly, into the Java also, all your respective defined class files would be there. For an example, this is a real-time projects, which you are seeing it here. Now, if you see here, in this one, we have been classified all belonging to the Android. Say all the test cases of Android, all the screens of Android, and all utility functions of Android. And this is the desktop. So these are the desktop screens, desktop test cases, utilities. And this is for web page test cases, pages, and the utilities. So this is how we have been classified with this all. So now under this particular thing, so we will be having multiple pages, multiple test case suites, multiple utilities. The same way for the Android also would be the same. So this is how we classify these particular packages, respective classification of this particular class files, and these called as a packages. And combination of all these things would be calling it as a jar file. See, it was very, means in our good olden days, our grandmothers will be preparing all our pickles, mango pickle or lime pickle. So all these pickles, they'll store into a jar, right? So now whenever we wanted, it will be in a big jar, completely like 40 kilos, 50 kilos, they will do the pickle. And then whenever we wanted, we can take from that particular jar and then we can use it into our balls. So similar way, the jar file consists of a group of packages and group of class files, which it includes. Package is nothing but a classification of a particular class files, particular group of files. So now how I have been classified Android, web, and desktop, same way you can define according to your needs. Like I told you, right? The packages, tourism packages, which you wanted to go for a devotional trip or the educational trip or a bachelor trip. So now based upon that particular package classifications, this will be done. Okay, so now I created a particular package. Now for this one, I'll create a particular class, and always remember that packages should be all small letters. And the convention for this one is com.demo.dummy. Why com? What do you mean by com?
Com is website. Yeah.
Company dot company name dot this. For an example, now I'm writing a code for Amazon. or something. I mean, okay, let's an example I'm taking, right? So I can take anything. So for example, I'm creating it com. It is an Amazon.in, then it will start with a in dot Amazon dot. These are generic functions. Then you'll write it as generic. Okay,
Okay.
no spaces will be allowed. And if it is a com, then it is com. So these are the standards. When you're learning something, learn with the standard. Okay, com dot Amazon dot generic. Now click finish. It created. So now here I'll need to create the class name. Always class name should start with capital letter. So here I'll be writing it as okay, these are the methods, right? So this I call it as methods demo. Okay, and this would be called as, what case is called, this case is called as, what are the different type of cases when we define a particular method or a variable? What are the different type of cases we have?
Lowercase, uppercase.
Lowercase, uppercase.
We do have, I'm sorry. Okay, so now if you see here, now when I need to define this, so here I need to define, means when I wanted to define a method name or the variable name. Okay, so we will be using different notations. One is called Hungarian notation or camel case. What do you mean by camel case? Camel case.
First letter would be capital and second letter would be a small. The third
See,
letter would be a capital, like
this
that.
is how the camel hump will be there, right? Now here, if you see here, this is small and this is high, and then it should follow this. Now for an example, I wanted to define it for an integer. Then I'll write it as first three letters integer, v value equal to. So this is called camel case or Hungarian notation. There is small difference between the Hungarian and camel case, but still, this is what you need to understand. And if it is snake case, there is another case called snake case. So snake case is nothing but value underscore row underscore count. Means you have these underscores, right? So this is called snake case. Connecting the words with underscores, which is a snake case. And doing with a small, starting with, you know, it defines that particular variable data type. Now, whether it's an integer or whether it is an other, whatever it might be, it defines based upon this particular data type and then the name of that particular data type. So if you define it as with the three letters and then it is a capital letter in this one, then this is called a Hungarian notation or a camel case notations. Okay, now when you define a variable, you should follow this. And when you define a method, the method name should start with a small letter. Okay, so now what I'll suggest you to go through is we do have a method session in our repository. Okay, go back into that particular methods. So here you need to come back to me tomorrow with a normal method and then Hungarian, sorry, normal method, parameterized method, and written method. So these three methods you should implement it, come back for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, I know that whatever your backlogs you need to fill it up. So whatever the single dimensional array and double dimensional array. So these two things with this particular implementation, come back for tomorrow. So as soon you come tomorrow, so first I'll verify all these things. Then I'll proceed further with the explanation of this particular methods. So this would be our tomorrow's plan. Hope everyone will be connected with the laptops, internet, and accomplishing this one, you'll come back tomorrow session. Any more questions?
Yeah, Chris,
Okay.
can we write the variables with snake method?
You can write
case?
it. That is highly encouraged in Python, not in Java.
Okay.
Java always defines from the point of Hungarian and camel notation only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? That's it. Have a great day. See you all. I need to jump for another training. See you all. Take care. Bye. I wanted to see
Thank you.
these all things tomorrow. Bye. Take care. Have
Yeah.
a
Thank you.
great day.
Thank you.